We need to stop lying, oh. One single lie can destroy generations to generations build up of trust. Babangida wrote a book recently about the lie that was told on the Igbo people, and this was a propaganda to deny them of their rights to presidency. Every ear in Nigeria needs to hear this one.
Hi Cheesy, how's your energy? Let's talk.
My energy is in awe of this news, but you know what? Let's talk it out. Some of us must wonder why in Nigeria there is so much ethnic division. Why the Hausas, the Igbos, and the Yorubas, they hardly agree most of the time. The ethnic division in Nigeria has deep historical roots shaped by pre colonial societies, colonial policies, and post independence politics, such as the pre colonial era. This is the time when we had separate kingdoms and societies, and then the colonial rule, which brought about the divide and rule strategy when, the British merged diverse regions into one country in 1914. That's the amalgamation of the Northern and Southern Protectorate. Then we now have the post-independence when there was now political manipulations. And then today, the modern day ethnic division that is caused by different resource control struggle, religious conflict, political zoning, and so on and so forth. But aside all of this, there is just one hidden truth. Well, the whole division also started with just one ideology and the complete misconception and misunderstanding of that particular ideology. The main lie told about the 1966 coup was that it was an Igbo coup planned to put Igbos in power and dominate Nigeria. Now, when I say coup, I mean coup d'etat, which is the violent and unlawful seizure of power from government. This claim led to widespread anger against the Igbos, violent attacks, and eventually the Nigerian Civil War. Meaning this Biafra war we all hear and talk about today was caused by just one single lie and misconception. Many of us never knew about this. The Nigerian Civil War, also known as the Biafra War, erupted in the year 1967 to 1970, primarily due to the deep-seated ethnic, political, and economic tensions following Nigeria's independence. Now, some of us who did government in the arts class in secondary school are familiar with the very first coup d'etat, which is the January 15, 1966 coup d'etat, led by Major Chukwuma Kaduna Nzeogwu and other young military officers. This coup was a pivotal event leading to the Civil War. Major Chukwuma's intentions were driven by a broader revolutionary and nationalist ideology. This man had good intentions to reform Nigeria, but because he was an Easterner, an Igbo man who grew up in the north, he understood and spoke their language very fluently. He understood their culture. He was into the whole Hausa Fulani culture. He even saw himself fully as a northerner. But this didn't change the fact that he was originally Igbo by birth. Now, because of this and so many other facts that I will make clear as we go further, the Northerners now had the perception that the coup was ethically motivated, particularly against the Northern leaders. Like the coup was widely seen as favoring the Igbo ethnic group. This perception intensified and built regional distrust. Meanwhile, this was not the case, so Major Chukwuma's goal, according to Babangida, was to rid Nigeria of corruption and inefficiency rather than advance any Igbo agenda. I am going to throw more light on this book and explain other reasons why the misconception and lies spread across the nation, got everyone talking and plotting, mostly the Northerners. Welcome back to Cheesy's Energy. I studied sociology and I have decided to uncover stories. Now, if you have gotten to this point in the video, you are definitely family. Please hit the like button, kindly subscribe, and don't forget to leave your comments down the comment section. Now let's get right into the story. Despite Nzeogwu's broader revolutionary intent, the coup was widely seen as favoring the Igbo ethnic group because majority of those who were killed were northern leaders. The coup resulted to the assassination of key northern leaders such as Sir Ahmedu Bello, Premier of the Northern Region, Prime Minister Tafawa Balewa, Brigadier Zakaria Maimalari, and Colonel Shodende, to mention but a few. Also, there was minimal impact in the Eastern region. While the coup succeeded in Lagos and Kaduna, it was relatively ineffective in the Eastern region, where people like Michael Opara and other key Igbo figures remained unharmed. This fueled suspicions that it was an Igbo-led conspiracy to eliminate Northern dominance in the Nigerian politics. I mean, why are you even dominating in the first place? Babangida acknowledges that regardless of Nzeogwu's personal intentions, which were actually good intentions, this man meant well for the country. He had great intentions. He wanted to reform Nigeria, get rid of corruption, and just, do well for us. But the selective killings gave the coup an unmistakable ethnic coloration. It made it look like as if no, like because of the selective killings, like most killings were happening in the northern side and not in the eastern region at all. Or no, there were killings in the eastern region, but it was very less compared to the northern region. The northerners now started interpreting it as an Igbo plot to dominate Nigeria. Like that's how they saw it. But you know what I feel? I feel like they saw it like that because Major Kaduna Nzeogwu is actually Igbo by birth. If that man was a full-blown northerner, I don't think they would see it like that. But because they know that, oh yes, he's a northerner, he claims to be northerner, he grew up here, he speaks our language, he knows everything, he follows our culture and everything, but he is not northerner by birth. So I feel like that's where they started having that perception. They started seeing it like as if he had an Igbo agenda. Meanwhile, the man had nothing like that. Like he had very good intentions to just come, reform the country and help the country. Like he really had great intentions for Nigeria, but he was misunderstood. Like the Northerners interpreted it to be an Igbo plot to dominate Nigeria. Like that's how they saw it. And I feel like they had that perception because he was Igbo by birth. But if he wasn't, they won't start to think deep like that. Now, this perception set off a chain reaction of events, including the July 1966 counter-coup led by northern leaders, which resulted to the assassination of General Aguiyi-Ironsi and then installed General Yakubu Gowon as head of state. Now, I know you might be confused. How did Aguiyi-Ironsi come into play? So if you read government, or those of us who just know history, during the military rule, after the very first coup d'etat, which was a failed coup by Major Kaduna Nzeogwu, after the coup failed, Aguiyi-Ironsi took over. And then there was now a counter-coup. There was a counter-coup in July 1966 that was led by northern leaders to take over, and then they now installed General Yakubu Gowon after assassinating General Aguiyi-Ironsi. Now, that was not just the only chain of events though. The massacre of the Igbos. This perception led to mass massacre of the Igbo people in the north. Like the northern people began to kill the Igbo people, mothers or children or father, anybody. They started to kill most Igbos in the north. The Igbo people now even started to they began to fled back to the eastern region for safety. Now this led to widespread fear and resentment. Now, due to the ethnic massacre of the Igbo people in the north, there was the secession of the Biafra in 1967. Like the Igbo people they just wanted to go. They just wanted to fly away. They really just wanted to go because they had killed over 30,000 Igbo people in the north. It wasn't safe anymore. Like they just needed to go. It's so crazy how they didn't let the Igbo people go after everything they had done to them. Like they still did not want them to go. You can't even believe this is what the whole secession of Biafra is what led to the Nigerian Civil War, which is the Biafra War. There was breakdown of peace talk, economic and political marginalization. The Nigerian government imposed an economic blockage on the eastern region, cutting vital supplies. Yet they didn't allow them to go. Like you people have killed a lot of the Igbos. They've massacred them. They are trying to go. Yet look at the things. They cut off peace talk. They cut off vital supplies. Yet they didn't let them go. Like, are you trying to punish the Igbos right in their own country? That is really weird. It felt like they were being bullied. Like the Igbos were bullied. I feel like the Igbos were really bullied because how can you cut off their vital supplies, cut off peace talks, so many things, and then you now still refuse to let them go? Pharaoh, let my people go. But I mean, we all know why they didn't let the Igbos go. The oil revenue from the east was a major factor. Like the secession of the Biafra would have meant that the Nigerian government will lose complete control of its vast oil reserves. Anyways, faced with these insecurities, killings, and economic strangulation, there was one stubborn man. Ojukwu declared Biafra an independent nation on the 30th of May 1967, and there was outbreak of war. The Nigerian government under General Yakubu Gowon, they saw the secession of the Biafra as a direct threat to national unity. And I'm like, national unity? Do these people understand the word unity? Like after mass massacre that has happened to the Igbo people, after killing thousands of Igbo people, you say you don't want them to go because of national unity. What unity? Unity has already been destroyed. Like the unity is already threatened. Like there is no unity with how many people you killed in the north because of one misconception, because of one lie, because of one ideology, because of one thought, because of one mindset, because of one perception. They had killed thousands of Igbo people, and now the Igbo people were scared. They felt insecure. They felt like it was unsafe for them in the north. They felt like it was unsafe for them in Nigeria. And then they decided to go make an independent country called Biafra. And this caused war. This literally led to the civil war, like I said before. This is what caused the Biafra war. Like, they didn't allow them go after killing them that much because you saw it as a direct threat to national unity. Oga, just say you wanted the oil. Like, what is wrong with you people? Unity from where? Where's the unity? After killing everybody, what's the unity? Now wow, this country. However, let's look into Babangida's new book, see what it reveals, uncover the truth, and shed more light on this story. According to Babangida, the coup was not an Igbo coup. The leader, Major Chukwuma Kaduna Nzeogwu, was born to Igbo parents, yes, but he grew up in the north where he had personal ties with Hausa elites and was integrated into the Hausa Fulani culture. He spoke their language fluently. He considered himself a northerner in many respects. Babangida reveals that he wasn't fighting for the Igbo people. Other tribes were involved, non-Igbo soldiers, even Yoruba officers also played major roles in the coup. So if it was an Igbo planned coup, would there be other people, officers plotting and planning for the coup to be successful? Igbo leaders were also killed. If the coup was an Igbo coup, there would be no Igbo leader killed, but there were also major Igbo leaders who were assassinated. The real goal was to reform Nigeria. And according to Babangida, he also revealed that another major goal was that the coup plotters had the intentions to fix corruption and free Chief Obafemi Awolowo from prison to come and lead Nigeria. Now, I already established that Major Chukwuma Kaduna Nzeogwu is not an Hausa man, he's not a Yoruba man. He's an Igbo man who grew up in the north. Now, his major plan, or one of his major plans, was to free Chief Obafemi Awolowo from the prison, just for Chief Obafemi Awolowo to come out and become Nigeria's leader. He wanted Chief Obafemi to come out and lead Nigeria. And yet they were saying this is an Igbo coup. If this man was fighting to even bring one Igbo man out of the prison to come and lead Nigeria, that would make sense. But he was fighting to release Chief Obafemi Awolowo from prison so that Chief Obafemi Awolowo would lead this country. How is this an Igbo coup? Tell me. I know you're already wondering what Obafemi was doing in prison. Anyways, Chief Obafemi was a leading nationalist and the first premier of the Western region. He was a central figure in the Nigeria's early political landscape. He was the leader of the Action Group, a political party that strongly opposed the Northern People's Congress, that's the NPC, which dominated federal politics after independence. Now, why was Awolowo arrested? In 1962, a political crisis erupted in the Western region, leading to a state of emergency. Awolowo was accused of plotting to overthrow the federal government. In 1963, he was convicted of treasonable felony and sentenced to 10 years in prison. His imprisonment removed the major political opponent of the NPC government, allowing northern leaders to consolidate power. Now, like I said before, according to some accounts, including Babangida's reflection, the 1966 January 15 coup was not an Igbo coup. It was not a bad coup. The leader, Major Chukwuma Kaduna Nzeogwu, and his colleagues, they just wanted to free Obafemi Awolowo from prison because they saw Awolowo as the most capable and visionary leader to unify Nigeria and lead meaningful reforms. Awolowo was known for his disciplined governance in the Western region. Many believed that Awolowo's imprisonment was a political motivation to weaken the only and major opposition of the northern controlled federal government. The young officers saw Awolowo as a nationalist leader who could break the ethnic power, the imbalance in Nigeria, and introduce progressive policies. Now, despite all of this, the coup was misinterpreted as an Igbo power grab. There was lots of chaos, and after everything Major Chukwuma did, after the northern people led a counter-coup, they failed to secure Awolowo's immediate release. At the end of the day, they still couldn't get him out. The perception that led to the July 1966 counter-coup, which reinstated northern dominance and buried any hopes on Awolowo's leadership. This was a coup that was meant for the betterment and good reform of the country. Ethnicity just set in and scattered everything. Now, the coup was unsuccessful, like I said. Major Chukwuma was arrested by Agui who took over. I hear that Yakubu Gowon, after taking over from Agui, in order to restore political stability, he released Awolowo and appointed him vice chairman of the Federal Executive Council and also made him Minister of Finance. That makes a lot of sense. You see, this ethnicity is not even necessary. Look at who even released Awolowo now in order to restore political stability. An Hausa man. After the counter-coup, Yakubu Gowon came, he took over from Agui, and then in order to restore political stability, the Hausa man released Awolowo, which was the major aim of Major Chukwuma Kaduna Nzeogwu, to release Obafemi Awolowo and make him Nigeria's leader. At the end of the day, Yakubu Gowon did it. Praise be to God. He fulfilled that dream of Major Chukwuma Kaduna Nzeogwu. He released Awolowo and he appointed him vice chairman of the Federal Executive Council, even though, the goal was to make him head of state, but at least he released him and put him in a very, very, important position, even made him Minister of Finance. And I hear Awolowo did very, very well playing his key roles as the vice chairman and the Minister of Finance. You see? Meaning that Nzeogwu really had good intentions. Meaning that Awolowo was a good man. Meaning that they believed in Awolowo because he was really what they said he was. He did very well playing his role. So this can tell you a lot about why Nzeogwu really wanted him to lead the country. He was just a good leader like Nzeogwu and the other colleagues believed. Now I know you are waiting to hear how it all ended for Major Chukwuma Kaduna Nzeogwu. Now remember the Biafra War that broke out in 1967? He had already been imprisoned by Agui, like I said. Agui arrested him and imprisoned him. Now, when he was imprisoned, that stubborn man, Ojukwu, during the Biafra War in 1967, he went and released him and integrated him into the Biafran army. He was sent to fight on the Midwest front, where Biafra attempted to capture Benin and other key cities. Now, on July 29, 1967, during a battle near Nsukka in Enugu State, Nzeogwu was killed in action while fighting against the Nigerian federal troops. This story is actually very touching. I feel so bad for Major Chukwuma Nzeogwu. He just really wanted the best, but the misconception was just on a high level. Like the ethnicity that set in and scattered all his plans, and at the end of the day he just he still died fighting. I'm proud of him. He died serving his country regardless of what they thought he was. He died serving the country, and it's such a great thing. I'm super proud of him. Wherever he is, may his soul rest in peace, because he was a good man. He had good intentions. Like, he wanted better for Nigeria. According to the story and even the way Babangida has revealed the whole truth, like, it was just a misconception. He really wanted better for Nigeria. He wanted good things for the country. He wanted to reform Nigeria. He wanted to place a leader he trusted, not a leader from his tribe, not a leader from his clan, a leader he trusted, Obafemi Awolowo, that he just really trusted to lead this country the right way. And he was not alone. There were some other Yoruba young officers with him, other people, other Igbo officers as well, that also believed in him and believed in the goal of releasing Obafemi Awolowo because they trusted him to lead Nigeria right. So I just really feel bad for him, but I'm proud of him, and I think a lot of Igbo people should be proud of him. Even Yoruba people should be proud of him. Everybody should be proud of him at this point, because at the end of the day, I think it is clear now that the man just really wanted better for the country. He didn't mean no harm. He just really wanted the best for Nigeria and no Igbo agenda. Every year in Nigeria needs to hear this story. Do you think it was fair what happened to Major Chukwuma Kaduna Nzeogwu? What is your advice to the Nigerian ethnic groups that just keep fighting themselves? And do you think ethnic division and discrimination can ever stop in Nigeria? Please leave your comments down the comment section, and do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Catch me here again next Sunday. Bye, guys.